Where was I? Dr. Friedman said, You just said, fuck everybody else. Russell swallowed more coffee. Yeah, I mean, where was I in my story? Ah, said the therapist. Your story of your spy mission. Yeah, got it, said Russell. The maitre d' glides through the restaurant like he's skating on ice. He's hairless, pale as a bone, milky eyes, stone cold. 4 werewolves in army fatigues with AK-47s walk in and ding his bell, but he doesn't blink. He's wearing a black bow tie, a white shirt, blue jeans, a black tuxedo tailscoat like Dracula, plus one hand, ballerina waitress style, he's balancing an empty tray. Sounds like an LSD trip, said Dr. Friedman. Doc! Russell grinned. Who knew you're such a rebel? I have an interesting father. What about you? Nah, said Russell. Dad never did nothing that could get him in trouble. He never had to. And he isn't in the story. In the restaurant, that was just me, all me. And who else? Asked Dr. Friedman. I told you. Colonel Herzl, the fat fuck. Smelled like garlic and vodka. And they claim vodka doesn't smell. That's another lie. Believe me, it smells, and You're in the restaurant, said Dr. F., with Colonel Herzl, his men, and the maitre d', who glides up to us through the tables holding his empty tray, Nazi pin on his lapel, man. He lets us fall into his milk eyes. Colonel Herzl glares at him, says, You got crap on for music. Tunes are coming from a boombox on the bar, and the colonel is dead on right. It's crap. Some accordion, flute, zither, ethnic bullshit. Colonel Herzl is an Elvis freak. He's carrying a torch for a bloated icon who bought it in a bathroom. Dr. Friedman blinked, and I caught him. Who bought it in a bathroom while Herzl was still a commie punk in Belgrade. Now he's got this one lousy tape, the soundtrack from Viva Las Vegas. Not the worst Elvis movie, not even his worst bunch of songs, but man, after the first 40 times you hear it and get ordered to translate it and teach the colonel to sing along. Colonel Herzl gives the Elvis tape to the maitre d', who leads us to a table, and on it is a bottle of that plum brandy. Rakia. No glasses. We sit, pass around the bottle. Please say you didn't put your lips where theirs were, said Haley. Shit, yes. You think I'd bust cover playing the snob? Said Russell. So the maitre d' says, potato soup, which is all this war zone cafe has, except for rakia. Off he goes. A few sweeks later, and boombox Elvis blasts out Viva Las Vegas. The wardroom door swung open, pushed inward by a rolling mirror metal box. The meds cart rolled across the sun-swept floor. I checked out the nurse driving it, who, like Dr. F., had rotated in while the regular staff were on furlough. The substitute nurse was a pretty woman who'd walked miles of hospital corridors. She wore the uniform white slacks and top with a black cardigan sweater, wore her brown hair pinned in a bun. She unlocked the meds cart, stacked tiny paper cups on the metal top, checked her clipboard. Dr. Friedman said, What did it smell like? Why do you want to know that? Said Russell. We know what outside the cafe smelled like. Gunpowder, burned wood, smoke, rubble. What did it smell like at that table? What difference? Well, there's that rakia plum brandy, plus us 4 unshowered army fatigue guys, and kind of a salty smell. Potato soup from the kitchen. What kind of salty smell? Asked Dr. Friedman. Like tears? Like tears? What the hell difference does that make? It's all about what I do. And now, with Elvis blasting Viva Las Vegas, I finally got my chance to do. The nurse shook pills into a paper cup. Dr. Friedman said, You finally got your chance to do what? To kill Colonel Herzl. But that wasn't your mission. You weren't an assassin. Don't you tell me who I wasn't, yelled Russell. I was who I was, and I did it. Dr. Friedman stared at the trained warrior. Tell us about your official mission. My official mission was over, man. None of the factions, not the Muslims, not the Croats, for sure not those damn Serbs, none of them got squat from the caches Uncle Sam's bad boys had snuck into Yugoslavia during the Cold War. None of them had the missing suitcase nukes. Don't you think they'd have used them? They all wanted total annihilation, and there's no better way to go total than nuclear. So why were you still there? said Dr. Friedman. How could I leave? Russell shrank on his chair. That place went from skirmishes to slaughterhouse in a blink. What was going on outside that restaurant? What I'd had to see and play along with as the rock and roll Serbian-American kid come back to find his roots and help his heroes. Over there, being crazy was the rule. If you weren't when it started, how do you think I ended up here? You tell us. I killed the colonel. Why? Because I could. I couldn't stop anything big, but if I iced that one fat fuck monster who I'd latched onto when I still had a sane mission, before I bugged out, I could put him down for all the horror he did, was going to keep doing. When Elvis kicked in with Viva Las Vegas, Herzl said, I not wait. He tells me, you next, and walks through the dining room to the bathroom. Did he go alone? What do you mean, did he go alone? Of course he went alone. What do you think, that we were a bunch of Kansas schoolgirls on prom night? Russell shook his head. They wouldn't listen to me. Didn't believe me. Phones worked, not everywhere, but I'd reported to my case officer in Prague. Hell, I called Langley direct. They insisted I was off mission, or overloaded. I was to exfiltrate stat. Good job. Mission over. Come home and... They wouldn't believe me. That was only at first, said Dr. F. Then satellite photos, other sources. At first is where you start. You gotta get to at last. So you stayed. I went into that bathroom. Russell blinked. That was my chance. I told the two goons, fuck the colonel, I had to go now. They laughed. Nobody looked at me as I walked through the dining room. The bathroom was through a set of swinging doors, down a hall. The bulb in that hall was burned out, so it was a long, dark tunnel. Stank. Urine, rats, rakia. I know you want to know how it smells, Doc. No need to thank me. But Friedman said nothing to interrupt. He sensed the roll, knew it was coming. I put my right hand in my fatigue jacket pocket, said Russell. My knife and AK-47 were back at the table, but 2 days before, the day they burned up the schoolhouse full of kids, I found a steel wire about a yard long, stuck it in my pocket. Figured I could rig a grenade trip to get the colonel and his whole squad, but that was me being optimistic, not practical. Walking to the bathroom, I was the zen of practical. I had one end of the wire cinched around my right grip before I hit the swinging doors. 10 steps down that long, dark tunnel to the closed men's room door. Viva Las Vegas. And by the time I get there, the other end is cinched around my left grip. 2 ways to go in for a whack, Russell told us. Blitz or sly. Sly ninja or sly bold like Skorzny. March in, banners flying. Yeah, I've always been a Skorzny man. I burst into the bathroom singing Elvis over the tape of Elvis, and Herzl, he loved it. He was at the mirror, the stall with, he was boogieing with his back to me as I sang, and then wham! Russell twisted in his seat as he pantomimed, flipping the wire loop around the colonel's neck from behind and garroting the thrashing colonel. He was tough, and it was hard. For you, Doc, I could smell his garlic and sweat. The flesh on his neck burned like acid on my hands. Whoa, I thought. The flesh burned like acid. That was a new detail. A key sensory memory. Bravo, Dr. Friedman. In 2 weeks, you'd moved Russell off the same old to the reveal of a touch of flesh. Of course I left the wire, said Russell. Walked out to find out I'd fucked up. How? Said Dr. Friedman. The fire exit was locked. Nowhere to go but back to those 2 Serb militia pricks, who luckily for me had pulled a big joke and eaten my bowl of potato soup. Nurse coughed. Time for their meds. Fuck her, I thought. Maybe Russell is on the edge of a breakthrough. Dr. F's negative wave to the nurse agreed with me. So I asked, Did anybody say anything when you came out of the bathroom? Giving Russell a chance to bust the lie himself, to see it.